Hi, it's Michelle Einstein, Songbird Song. I just finished listening to Judy Jacobs, a worship artist, sing The Year of Jubilee. There's no God like Jehovah. So I said, who is Jehovah? Jesus, the egg, H for heaven, O for ordered, V for vibrating. A is the first letter of the alphabet, first, H for heaven. Jehovah. Jesus the egg, heaven ordered, vibrating the first heaven. That's what Jehovah is. He's vibrating the first heaven. Now, she said, this is the year of Jubilee. J for Jesus, you believe in pleasuring. There's a ring, the wedding ring. Love, love, evening. Okay, so the even love is Jesus even loves St. Mary Magdalene. And St. Mary Magdalene even loves Jesus Christ. And they are to be married and live forever in eternity as a foundational love of the world. This is Solomon. I was Bathsheba, King David. Garrett was her father. Solomon's father was King David and Bathsheba. She's born as Venita Michelle Long in Clarksville, Tennessee. This is Charles Long. Her then father, he's Kronos, who was one of the members of the Titans. This is Wilma Rudolph. She got her idea, having polio, watching me praise Alice Trice, a little girl I tutored in reading in the first grade. We were both in the first grade, but I already knew how to read, so Mrs. Slay had me tutor Alice Trice. Alice Trice, one day we were all the kids playing a game. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. Something da-da-da, and you all fall down. So Alice was running to leave her handkerchief behind the one she loves. And I noticed she was running. She had a small leg because she had polio. And she had a brace on her leg, but she was running just as fast as she could as though she didn't have a brace on her leg. And I noticed what a brave person she was. Wilma Rudolph picked up on the thought and ran, because she had polio as a child. And she ran, but she made a full recovery. Both her legs were normal. So she ran in the 1960 Olympics in Rome and won 3 gold medals. She broke records, inspired by my noticing that Alice Trice could run even though she had polio. This is Stevie Wonder, and this is his daughter, Robin Michelle Birdsong, kissing him on the cheek. This is her brother with his hat on backwards. Sing Birdsong. Sing Song Birdsong McCartney, Paul McCartney's actual son, Edwin Birdsong's legal son. And Robin is Edwin Birdsong's legal son. This is Mr. Rogers, the daughter of the son, the daughter of Mr. Rogers, the daughter of Einstein. That's T. Michelle Birdsong. This is, this picture of Charles Kelly playing golf was on the front page of the Clarksville Leaf Chronicle, even though it was a time when the town was segregated. And he probably was the only black person, maybe him and his brother, Norman Long, who played golf. He probably had been a caddy and learned to play golf watching the man he worked for play golf. And I spoke to him 2 days ago after 20 years, and he said he's still playing golf And I said, good for you. We're going to reverse your age so you can live for eternity. Because you're a good man, Cronus. This is Roberta Flack, Edwin Birdsong, Sing Birdsong, Robin Birdsong. Backstage after a Stevie Wonder gig, probably. This is Michelle Birdsong and what's her name? She was the girl who told me about the path. She's now Sylvia Perone, and she died of starvation. She was one of the first vegans. It's not a healthy diet. You need milk for protein and beans and rice for protein. Steve Jobs with his black finger pointing up, ready to tickle the clitoris of his wife until she comes, and he'll come with her. Even though he's too old for his penis to get hard, he can still have orgasm coming with his wife. Grandmaster Flash, I don't know anything about him. Andrew Zellman, who worked for me, helping me with computers in my business, mainstreaming clues to the marginalized, recommended I put him on the cover, so I did, but I don't know anything about him. This is me, and this is Robin, and this is her legal father, Edwin Birdsong. This is a cover of our first album called Edwin Birdsong, What It Is. I plaited his hair. I sat 7 hours plaiting his big bushy afro because he wanted a new image. And he read my mind and saw that my family has been plaiting their hair since Chief Sitting Bull, Ostara Gloria, then Ostara as Mama Sally, and Minnie plaited her hair for her. And then my mother, Miss Frog, Corinne Beatrice Crowder, French braided my hair, which they call cornrows, and she put ribbons in it when my legal father, Stevie Wonder, came to Clarksville. He wasn't Stevie Wonder, he was Lieutenant Kenneth Anderson, a colored Army officer, and there weren't many of them. And so Miss Emma May, my distant cousin, when my mother was at war, would cook for me and braid my hair. She loved to play with my hair, and Donnie loved to play with my hair. Miss Aunt Minnie loved to do my hair. So, but I didn't like it because they hurt. My hair was fine and it would tangle, and that was before cream rinses. So one day, Brother Wright, who was Songbird Song McCartney, said, you want me to do your hair? Because I was crying because Aunt Donnie said, it's time to do your hair. And I said, yes. And so he brushed my hair. He was so gentle. And he did my hair, and it looked just as good as when Aunt Donnie and my mother did it without hurting me at all. So that's when they said patience is the most important virtue for a parent. Because he was my other father. This is Vincent D'Onofrio, lived next door to us when I lived in Stevie Wonder's townhouse on 18th Street. And I befriended his son, who was actually my son. I didn't know at the time, but I would give him Babar books to read and other fancy toys I had bought for my daughter and son. And Robin said, you can't give that rich man anything. And so he was amazed. He was rich because he was a star of Law and Order. But he didn't know about King Babar, and he didn't know about all the other things I gave his son. See, because I was the queen of my mouth just kissed. Yes, I love his little son. When I came home from the hospital, there was a letter from him. He was trying to learn to write, and he was thanking me for the gifts I had given him. I had put on his doorstep. And I could have cried because I didn't feel alone anymore. I felt appreciated and cared about. This is Glenn Beck, who was General George Washington, President George Washington. I was his wife, Martha Washington. And I tried to contact him this life, and he said, I get 4,000 emails a day. In other words, How do you expect me to pick out your email and respond to you? But he did, and eventually we started talking spirit to spirit. Okay, so that's the explanation for this book cover, Your Move. Inside is about politics, because I would like for people to become informed about the tricks that's being pulled on you to hypnotize you into not thinking, but to be like what they call sheep people, just follow without thinking. Thomas Jefferson, Sean Hannity, my third husband, said, question everything, even the existence of God. And he questioned the law of segregation and took a black woman for his common law wife. He couldn't marry her. It was against the law. But he had children with her, and he loved her and respected her. And they were very happy together. We were very happy together. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm reading this book now. I said that's all I'm going to talk about. Then I started talking about something else. It's Your Time by Joel Osteen. I love his books. They're so uplifting. What does he say? He says, God promises your payday is on its way. Let's start here. Remember that it is always darkest before the dawn. More challenges mean you're closer to your victory. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up your relationship because the waters get rough. Don't give up on living a healthy life because illness brings you down. Times may grow tough, but remember, there are rewards for staying in faith. God promises your payday is on its way. If you'll learn to be a prisoner of hope and get up every day expecting God's payoff, God's favor, you'll see God do amazing things. You'll overcome every obstacle. You'll defeat every enemy. And I believe and declare you'll see every dream, every promise God has put in your heart come to pass. Dr. Seuss is Robin Michelle Birdsong, my daughter who lives in rural Hawaii. And this is Dr. Seuss' bookmark. All the places you'll go. Dr. Seuss was also Michelangelo. Okay, so that's the video for today. I hope it's opened your mind somewhat and you feel hopeful, because hope is very important. And gratitude is the secret to wealth. All right, so long.